everyone. Welcome back to Let's Just Talk. I'm your host, Kristen McIntosh, and today we have an amazing guest, TV and film actor Anthony Holmes. We're diving into his journey in the industry, of course, the grind of being an actor, and the mindset needed to succeed in this business. Anthony, welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Not a thing, not a thing. I feel like you Chi-Town actors are taking over my podcast. This is the third Chicago actor that I've had on the show so far.
Well, we like to move around.
Okay. So you told me a second ago that you're in town.
Yes.
Anthony doesn't even live here, guys.
No, I don't. Stationed in Chicago, out here to film for a TV show for Tubi and BET Plus.
That's what's up. Anthony, I know you probably can't really go into detail about the project that you're currently on. Today, I did want to sit down with you and kind of just have you spread some of that knowledge to some of our listeners who have not gotten as far as you and I did. And I've told you before we started recording, I really love your background. I think Anthony's Instagram is immaculate. For those of you that are having a hard time keeping up with social media, being an actor, go and look at Anthony's Instagram. He's marketing the heck out of himself, okay? Now, I do have a few questions for you, and then obviously we want to get to know you and any projects that you've worked on in the past and any experiences you'd like to share.
Okay.
All right. So, what was the first big break and how did it come about for you?
I would say is probably my power scene or whatnot gave me more emotion and more kind of screen time, and I killed it. So it ended up leading me to networking and different other opportunities. So I thought that was pretty cool how that like branched off and grew into other things.
That's what's up. So tell me, how did power role really speak to the characters that you're playing today?
Well, that role, it was a little different. I was in prison, and basically I had to like conceal drugs within the lunch. And one of the main actors, he was coming past and he witnessed me do it, and he didn't like it because I was his op, so to speak. So I had to embody all of that like emotion of like, yeah, this is our stuff now with just like a look and expression. So, but yeah, as far as like how it relates to today, I mean, the roles I'm getting now is starting to be a little different. Like a movie I got coming up this summer is called To Get Her, and I'm playing a janitor where I'm like kidnapping people, and it's like one of those real like hateful roles. So it's a little different. Like I'm starting to get different roles.
That's what's up. Now, I know Power has been a big hit, especially in the Black community. So you got to be able to tell us the episode so we can support you and say, we know him. We know him.
It was Tommy Force, season 3. I want to say it was like episode 6 or 7. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you started off with background. You are bi-coastal. Clearly, you reside in Chicago. Do you plan on moving to Atlanta anytime soon? I know that it might be a little busier.
I do. It has been in the works. I plan at least by next spring. So by March, I should be here.
Yeah, the work is definitely here. We will definitely keep you busy, and clearly you're already busy, bi-coastal, right now going back and forth from Chicago. So were there any challenges in coming from a role such as a op in a prison scene to now being a janitor? Or is that your character type? Is that something that you're interested in developing your career into more?
Well, I kind of want to do like a variety of different roles. I like challenging myself, so to speak. So, like initially in the beginning, when I first started even like filming or acting in general, I would get asked to do like YouTube series, and it was more improv. So I got a chance to kind of create the scene on spot in a sense, and that kind of helped me to like reading scripts now, because how I learn scripts so fast is that I think about the situation versus what's actually said. And once I get the situation down, I can, kind of go off with the script or not, but still stay on subject.
Right.
Because I know the scene and what's supposed to happen.
Right. So with that situation, were there any similarities in real life? No prison.
No.
Okay, good.
I mean,
good.
I've did things in my younger time, but yeah, no, none of that now.
First of all, ladies, if y'all was sitting here behind this mic talking to Anthony, you would think that he is playing the heartthrob on these movies. Anthony is such a handsome cat, and he looks like he has a way with words. So I'm really excited to see you on screen as the bad guy, Anthony.
Yeah, that's gonna be challenging because I'm not like aggressive with women at all.
Uh-huh.
So, but I have to kind of be like,
Yeah,
like a kidnapper,
complete
so to
opposite.
say. Yeah,
Yeah, but isn't that like how most actors' careers take off anyway? You see them as the complete opposite of what they are in real life. And I always thought to myself, I'm like, okay, what role is going to be my takeoff role? It's probably going to be where I'm the antagonist. It's probably going to be me being the bitch or the villain. But then everyone wants to be the nice person or the nice guy or the heartthrob, or the romantic interest in a movie. But the villains usually are the ones that carry the show.
yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody hates them, and that hate just continues to
Yes,
grow.
exactly. You know how great your acting have to be for people in real life to actually
Yeah,
develop
dislike.
this taste for your character?
Yeah,
Man, that means you're a damn good actor. You did the job.
yeah.
You
When
did the
you
job.
get stuff like that and people comments like that, I mean you did your thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like I saw this post on social media the other day about people that the Black community have never gotten the chance to, like, forgive because of the roles that they played, and one of them was this guy that played the husband on, one of Tyler Perry's movies. He was the husband that did the wipe
oh
wrong.
yeah, the
Yeah.
one in the wheelchair and everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But I will say that he played a good job. He played a good part in the movie. A lot of people see the final product, as you know, but they don't understand the grind behind the scene. You spoke a little bit about hustling from background, co-star, and just so on and so on to kind of develop your career. Can you talk to us a little bit about that grind? Maybe someone else can pick up on certain things that they could possibly try to help their career.
I mean, it's just really being determined in what you want, and by that I mean putting action to what you want to manifest.
Yeah.
And that's, going to casting calls, trying out monologues. Even like I see a lot of people spend time on TikTok or Instagram watching reels all day and want to do reels but
Hmm.
with no direction. You can actually pick a reel that you like. That's kind of a form of monologue if it's like a minute long
Yeah.
and actually enhance that voice or reenact whatever you like. And once you get in the habit of doing that, now you got 4, 5, 6, 7 monologues you
Yeah.
can use to kind of outsource yourself or promote yourself. So it's really about making what you have now work and keep going. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Starting from anywhere
Yeah.
and with anything. And I think I can speak to that. Just hesitation on starting. And obviously, we keep it real on this podcast. For 5 years, I've had just pre recordings and just scripts and scripts and scripts for this podcast. And I thought not having a niche is what would hold me back from succeeding if I were to launch the podcast. And I didn't launch because of that reason. Only to realize that there are people picking up cameras and recording their dogs without a niche,
Yep.
and they're making it work. And this goes to say, just start with anything. It doesn't matter. Start with anything. TikTok actually, I think, originally started with voiceover, where people voice over
Hmm.
like movies and songs. And look at what it went into now. People are creative. Start with anything.
Like that's how I even got like the role that I got now. Like I didn't have a studio, and when I submitted for the casting, they was like, "All right, here goes the lines. You got 24 hours." I was like, "Nah, I want to do it in 10," but
That's what's up.
it was like at night, so I couldn't like go make an appointment at a studio or whatever. So
Mhm.
I actually like cropped it out and did it in my bedroom. It was crazy. I just kind of fit the setting of the scene,
Mhm.
recreated it, and got it. And me thinking where, oh, I didn't have this or I didn't have that would have messed up my
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
to do something that I could have just been determined and did it.
Yeah. So two things I'm taking from that. You self-submitted for the role.
Yep.
That is what's up. Because a lot of actors, they are hesitant about self-submitting themselves if they have representation because they, obviously all I think agencies probably in the Southeast, I'm not sure if that's what it's like in LA, but they're like, do not submit yourself, but a lot of people still do it.
Oh no, I do.
And yeah, so a lot of people are also going against the grain and saying, I'm self-submitting because I'm helping my career as well. And that's interesting that you said that you self-submitted yourself as such a big show. And what platform did you self-submit yourself? After Access, Casting Network, which
No, so I went directly. I end up seeing the producer post the casting call, and I just submitted
yeah.
my bio and everything like that,
Mhm.
and they hit me back.
See, that's why it's so important. You know, social media plays a really big part in being an actor as well. And it's not all about having millions of followers. I think it's a networking platform for creatives.
Very much.
And I think if you follow the right people and you seek after the right content, not just, you know, any type of content that has no substance to it, it can work and benefit, your career. And just like Anthony is saying, he followed a producer. Following a producer who's pushing his product, fell into Anthony's lap. And now Anthony has an opportunity to go ahead and self-submit himself directly. Now, secondly, I heard you say that you set the scene. Now, we're told to always have this mundane, clean backdrop when we self-submit.
Yeah.
I am guilty of going against the grain with this sometimes for commercials. Now, some casting directors, they got the whip on us. They do not want anything extra. Some do. With this casting director, obviously, you went against the grain and they were okay with this.
They told me I was dangerous for sure.
Oh,
They was like, we didn't know whether to take this unprofessional or, did you just really go above and beyond to kill it? But
Mhm.
we loved it so much. So
See, I say if you're going to go against the grain, make sure it is really
yeah.
good because you do not want to be seen as an unprofessional that doesn't follow instructions. But Anthony followed instructions, but honestly just fit in that little loophole. This is what they need. But Anthony won at that. And I think Anthony, the only thing that's left for me to ask is what casting director was okay with that?
So it was basically the producer of the show is
Oh, the producer.
Films, and the show is I Got a Story to Tell. Season 1 is probably out now. One of the famous episodes from there is the gas station bill.
Mhm.
So yeah.
The gas station bill. That's an interesting one. Okay, so tell me about what's something about the industry that people might not realize from your opinion?
How in depth and on point the look has to be. I know everybody may say, "Oh yeah, I know you gotta have the same T-shirt on," but nah, it's real extensive to even the hair. For
Yeah.
example, I'm shooting a movie called Temperance now, and I had a certain hairstyle for a lot of the movie, and somebody ended up getting sick on set, so we had to slow production down for 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
In those 3 weeks, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have a different style. My
Different look.
haircut
Yeah.
line gonna need to be redone. So I have to make sure before the next time we film, I'm kind of meeting where I was last time, and that's very important for
Right.
me to do. And people sometimes overlook that,
Mhm.
and they don't understand that part. So
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a trick that I actually do. So when I first booked with the Oval, my hair was a certain way in the audition. And I went into the audition, not the audition. I went into the set and I sat in hair and makeup and they changed the look of my hair. And going forward, I started wearing my hair like that in each audition that I would tape that I got from them for different shows. And I actually ended up booking a couple other episodes on different shows for them by just going based off of that look. I think consistency is what Anthony is trying to say, just being consistent with the look because it helps casting directors see exactly what they want or what they've already chosen and selected. So don't go off the grid and do something completely different because you feel that character needs to look like that. That's not your job. Just show up, lines ready and just, knock it out.
That's right.
Tell me, how do you handle auditions that come with rejection? Now, I know you've booked quite a bit of immaculate roles, but obviously in this industry, it comes with a lot of rejection. What are you feeling like when you get some of that?
Actually, I'm a real optimistic person, so I never look at one thing and let it harbor. For example, like it was Bronzeville musical. Love the musical. I end up having an opportunity to audition. Now, this is a musical with dancing, singing, and I'm talking about everybody hitting opera high notes. I wasn't really used to that. Like I did music, but I wasn't like a Barry White or
Mhm,
opera singer, you know. So when I was in that element, like I did good, but I kind of felt like, nah, they on a whole different level from
mhm,
what I'm used to doing. And I didn't let it like discourage me. I end up doing the audition tape for the role I got now and getting it. So, you just keep going. Like it goes back to that being determined. You're not letting one thing stop you just because
yeah,
the door is closed. You just use that as motivation to go get the next
yeah, and just bring you.
and understand God's timing too. You
Yes,
know what I'm saying?
that is.
Everything may not be meant for you.
Yeah, that is most important, is understanding God's timing and whether or not an opportunity is meant for you, or not. Because who's to say that that audition doesn't propel you to another opportunity? The opportunity at hand might not have been the right one, but someone saw you. Someone probably thought that you would be better fit for a bigger role. And I do believe that when we interject with negative mindsets or just being pessimistic, I think we block some of the blessings that are to come if we're not open and optimistic and leaving things in control of a higher power.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Deal with it as it comes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what keeps you going in this industry?
Mhm. Just life in general, wanting so much. Like I have a daughter, so I want to be able to like when I leave her where she
Okay.
doesn't have any worry or anything. You know what I'm saying? And if I can, I want to make that last a few generations.
Mhm.
So that's kind of been my mindset of what keeps me motivated or keep me going because I really don't stop. Like even on my off days, so to
Right.
speak, I'm still trying to work or I'm still researching or I'm still reading or doing something that adds to what I'm trying to do.
That's true passion right there. I cannot let this conversation go any further without asking you, how did you get into acting?
Um, just it started off as a whim actually. So like I would interview with radio broadcasters for my music,
Mhm.
and then one of them, my first opportunity, I would say, was a broadcaster named Tati. She interviewed me, but then we knew each other from there, and she was like, "Oh, I think you should fit this role. Can you send me an audition tape?" So she gave me the lines, and I just tried it. And it was a series called Bro. It was about three guys in Chicago growing up or whatnot. But that kind of like started me off, and then from there I got into doing this YouTube series that kind of went viral called Fantasy Life,
Mhm.
and that was more improv. And then I started doing background from there, where I started learning the set, learning the whole structure of the film
Mhm.
industry from there. And then I started getting different roles in different movies, just searching from castings and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right. I noticed that I had a lot of colleagues that started out in the music industry that ended up in acting. Yeah. So that's quite interesting. I actually interviewed someone a couple weeks ago, and he started out in music as well. Yeah, he was like his manager started pushing him to just learn more about set, and then he said that, you know what, I might want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are there any particular habits that you utilize to kind of keep yourself in this motivational space?
Um, no, cause I'm a big movie buff in general, so like seeing a good movie motivate me honestly. Like anything, I get kind of motivated from anything. Like some people will start hating or be like, "Oh, I think that shirt is." I'm not even looking at that
Mhm.
type of thing. I'm looking at the scene, how the film is shot, how the actor is displaying the emotion, and I'm looking at it from a whole different end, seeing how I can use those tools to better myself.
Right.
So I guess I say what helps is staying a student.
Mm.
Always like looking at everything as what I can learn to better myself.
Right. Right. That's a good one. Um, I think that's also an acting tip some acting coaches give is to watch movies. Pick a favorite actor or actress and look at their techniques and just watch a TV on mute, they say. Watch it with subtitles. Just pay attention to what choices those actors make. Not to emulate, but more so just to study, as you say, and just learn how other people are approaching these materials. Yeah. Yeah. If you can give a actor that's sitting at home right now listening some advice on where to start, how to start, what would you do? What would you say to that person?
Kind of similar to what you just said in reference to like pick your favorite movie, or your favorite part in a movie, and like study it,
Yeah.
perfect it, reenact it, and set your phone camera up, whatever you got, and once you perfect it, start off right there
Mhm.
and just keep that going.
Mhm.
And how you learn those lines, what worked for you to learn it easiest, adapt to that style and
Yeah.
see if it carries over. But definitely start there. Do something that you feel good about, that
Mhm.
you got the rush to do it,
Yeah.
and let that build on from there.
Do you have a favorite actor or actress that you kinda look up to in that way?
Um, yes and no, because I love like a lot of Denzel movies, but
Oh, you getting brownie points with me right now. That's my favorite actor.
okay. But I mean he's very talented, so
Mhm.
but I also like Lawrence
Mhm.
Fishburne. Yeah, it's a lot. Like I take from different like Eddie Murphy I would say was probably one of my favorites.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, because I'm not really, and I hope he don't see this one day and kill me for this. But
Let's hope he do.
Apocalypto, the star in that movie,
Mhm.
that is like one of my favorite movies. I think it's directed by Mel Gibson. It was his
Mm.
debut, but the star in that movie, I don't know his name, but he's like one of my favorite actors because that's one of my favorite movies.
Mhm.
But yeah, so things like that, like I would say that.
Good, good. Is there something that you wish you knew back then when you started that you know now?
Um, I would say my likeness, I guess, in a sense, and how in depth I can use that in reference to acting. Because before I just used to like hear it and it brush off the shoulder, or I take it and say thank you, but I never understood like how effective in business wise it could work for me.
So, elaborate on that. Your likeness?
Yeah, so like just me being me and how I look,
Okay.
and just really understanding that that's effective when it comes to the entertainment business. So,
Mm. It is visual. It is a visual industry.
because I didn't, you know what I'm saying, look at it like that because
Mhm.
I'm not that type of person where I thrive off of things in that
Yeah,
element,
yeah.
but understanding that the industry does, it's a
Does,
big
yeah.
difference.
You know something? Most actors, obviously, most of us are pretty on the eyes. I think you're a handsome young man, and I think that we are least likely to see ourselves in that way, but the viewers do. And I believe, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, those that are more confident in their appearance but don't care about what people see or how they see it are the ones that are more likely to book more because confidence can be seen physically. I believe if you felt that way about yourself just a little bit too much, it might come off insincere. But the fact that you know it, but you don't walk around thinking about it, I think that's why people probably see it. You know what I'm saying on you. And obviously, you book a lot, so clearly something's working out, right? Something's working out. But I definitely can see your physical features being used for commercial. I definitely can see the bad guy. I definitely can see the heartthrob as well. So you can actually go either which way, dress it up, dress it down. So Yeah. So you mentioned that you have a daughter. Is she in the industry as well?
No, she told me one time she wanted to act, but I think that was just because she seen
Seeing
me
you.
doing it.
What's her expression like when she sees daddy on TV?
She don't really care.
She
She
don't
don't
care.
think it's that like deep. She don't look at it like that yet, I guess. When she get older, she'll probably look at it different. But now she
Mhm.
like, man,
No, nothing.
yeah,
It's nothing.
yeah, just think it's regular.
It's okay. I think the reward is her saying that she wanted to act
Yeah,
because she's seen you do it.
yeah.
So that already shows that she may not in depth know just all that it encapsulates, but I think she admires you. She admires you for doing it. Is there any bit of motivation you'd like to share? Something that I feel that you had to most recently tell yourself, not something that you heard multiple times, because it's a cliche. It's a marathon, it's not a race. We get it,
Mhm.
you know, but we all know sometimes we wake up in this game and we think, why am I doing this? Like, why? Yes, I did this, but do I, how would it take to continue on? What do you tell yourself, or what do you want to tell someone else about that?
Um, just not to live in the moment. And by that, I mean something bad can happen and you can think the worst,
Mhm.
and it can do a domino effect where you like, oh, you worrying about this, then it leads you to worrying about this. Now you're led to worrying about that. No, give it 72 hours.
72 hours? I say 3 minutes.
That too, depending on what works for you. Some people may need a little longer to let
Mhm.
it process, think on it, but let your emotions calm down, let your mind clear, think
Mhm.
about it from every angle within that time frame that works for you, and then rejoin the conversation in your mind of how do I move forward from here?
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna move more positive, you're gonna move in a better manner than what you would have in that moment, because some people get to jump into conclusions and now
Yeah.
you think this person is doing this on purpose to you, and
Yeah.
that may not even be their intentions.
Yeah.
So just give yourself a minute to calm down and really think about the situation before you operate.
Yeah.
I would say that is because you'll be somewhere trying to hurt yourself if you let everything affect you,
Yeah.
so deeply like that, because it can be any different thing. Like your role can switch. You can have the starring role, and they say, "Hey, you may fit this role over here a little bit better," and you went from 10 pages to one now.
Or you don't make it past the cutting floor.
And you got to be able to take that and say,
Yeah.
"How can I make this opportunity works the best for
Yeah.
me?" And go out there and kill it so that when I do get that role and it goes all the way through, I can do it, and
Yeah.
they can see that.
Yeah.
So that's just all.
Yeah. I like to approach kind of similar to that, but I add one twist to it. And that's, how is this going to affect my future? And I know you might say the situation that you're going through might affect your future, but really think about it. Is this going to challenge my future? Is this going to make me more diverse in this particular subject? Or is this something that's going to propel me in the future, although I'm not just prepared for it just yet? Like, I like to give myself an opportunity to kind of strategize the issue. And the reason I say 3 minutes is because I'm emotional. I need to give myself 3 minutes to get it out, and then, "All right, girl, let's get it together. What next?" Because if you stay in it, I feel like you miss opportunities.
Yeah.
If you're not vigilant, if you're not observant about the situation from all angles, and you can't be if you're still emotional about it, you can't be if you're in it and haven't given yourself the opportunity to sit with it and come out of it. Like, I give myself enough time, and it could be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, like Anthony said, 72 hours, but at least give yourself enough time to sit down, sit with it, feel it, and then come out with an idea, or just a plan. I think that is what keeps most actors successful. I'm gonna give my hairstylist a shout out for this. She always says to me when I sit in her chair, just keep at it, just keep at it. Any little success that you have is gonna be seen as big to anyone else that's not in the seat. So we may be going through these challenges right now. No one may be aware of it, but if we sit and strategically plan a way out of it, we're still going to be seen as successful.
That's right.
It's still gonna be a success. It's still going to work out to be better. You just have to believe that and strategically plan yourself out of those emotions,
Yeah.
you know?
Focusing on the solution and not the problem.
Hey, okay, I'm gonna clip that and rerun that again.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Anthony, I kinda lost track of time, but, I do something called rapid fire,
Okay.
and this gives you an opportunity to not think, okay? Turn that actor brain off and just kinda tell us some of your favorite things.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm gonna ask you the questions, and you can't think too long on it because I don't want you to give me anything that's calculated. Just what's on the top of your mind.
Okay, let's get it.
All right. So, what's your favorite role that you've played so far?
The favorite role that I've played so far, it would have to be the role of the best friend, Casey in Temperance.
Okay.
And it's a role where I'm kind of like jumping back and forth between the urban element and wanting to follow God and do the right things and go off to college. And right before I make the positive decision, I end up getting killed.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh man. That is like the worst nightmare of every actor. And it's usually a role that you feel in the most. And they're, at the end of that table read, you die.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me who's your dream co star?
Dream co-star Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy? Okay. We're gonna need to get this to Eddie.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me you've told me what your favorite movie is. I'd like to know who's your favorite director that you'd love to work with and why.
Uh, it would probably be either Mel Gibson, Quentin Tarantino, or well, rest in peace. But yeah, I'm gonna say those.
So who rest in peace? Who was that?
Um, he did Boyz II Men.
Oh, I know. And Friday, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I would love to Spike Lee too. To work
Mhm.
with Spike Lee.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, Spike Lee. Spike
Yeah.
Lee's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic. And last but not least, what is the biggest lesson Anthony has been taught from acting?
Um, man, to just take your time and learn and not be so available. Because, usually people would like jump at every opportunity and they're excited, like, oh, yeah, this, no. See if it really makes sense for you. Like you said, analyze it, see if it adds value to you or it takes away.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people too, they just jump into and they want to say, oh, I got 10 movies lined up, but 10
Yeah.
what type of movies? You
The
know what I
quality,
mean?
what you doing?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What y'all filming on, what the story about,
Yeah.
how's it adding to you as an actor or actress? Like
Yeah.
all of that matters. So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely learning not to be so available.
Yeah. Being strategic.
Yeah.
And selective too. I think a lot of new actors, um, they're, I say, happy to jump on any project because they just want the content.
Mm.
Don't go out there doing porn now just for some content.
Right.
Okay? Because that is not forgivable in this industry. You cannot go from a porn star to being a district attorney on TV. And if you do, hats off to you. Start a
Like
podcast
that
and
HBO overnight
okay,
special.
that midnight flick.
Right.
But just be very selective. I mean, if you are, for instance, a Christian, stick to there are Christian films and productions out there. Start building your repertoire from now because it's going to be eventually the thing that propels your career. Okay, Anthony and I just talked about just kind of the direction that we are interested in taking our careers before we started recording, and I mentioned to Anthony that I'm really interested in just hosting projects as well. And obviously, if you look at content that I've been pushing, it's more so geared towards voice acting or just, hosting. Try to develop some of those crafts and interests that you have because that's really what acting is. Acting is bringing your best human self to the table, diversify it.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in one thing and you're interested in the next, try to figure out a way to bring those things together and figure out a niche that can sell you, that your manager and your agent can be able to sell you. And don't be afraid. Like I said, I support everything but porn, but just make sure that you're strategic about what you are putting out there because the internet is forever.
Yeah.
Anthony, this has been such a great conversation.
Yeah.
I do wish you the best on set as you visit Atlanta and soon to be residing in Atlanta. You'll have to sit down with us again. And when you move back, where can people find you on social media to kind of keep up with some of your upcoming projects?
They can go to my official site, waysworld.co,
Okay.
or I'm on every social media as The Hustler Way.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for just sitting down and just being vulnerable and just sharing some critique on things that you have done in the industry that may help someone else. Like I always say, is each one teach one, and if you know, tell the other. So I want to thank you for sitting down and just sharing some of that knowledge with us, okay? For all my listeners out there, if you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and follow Let's Just Talk podcast. If you would like to get in touch with Anthony, drop a comment in the comment section. I'll get you in contact with Anthony. Stay inspired, keep grinding, and never stop chasing your dream. Until next time, take care.